And good evening, everyone, and welcome back for another edition of the FTF Saturday Night Super Speedway League, except it's on Friday. As we say, good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to Monza for the Slipstream Race Graphics 255. Glad to have you with us. I'm Blake McCandless, joined alongside by both Taylor Burris and Josh Mendoza in the booth tonight. And, of course, Zach Johnson down in the production trailer. And, well, Taylor, I guess I'll start with you. We saw the heat race, and if you can imagine how these races typically go at the Monza Oval, it went about as you would expect.
Yeah, chaos, excitement, and speeds of over 200 miles an hour around this historic oval is going to provide a lot of excitement here tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing who can come out on top and also who can survive this race.
Well, and we just saw somebody falling.
He did not survive.
Somebody falling from the sky. We saw a couple of crazy accidents on the back straightaway with the retaining wall here at Monza. It's going to make for an exciting night. But also, Josh, this is something we'll have to... And actually, didn't you run a Monza race at FTF, I'm pretty sure?
I've run a few Monza races, most notably Monza Madness back in April of last year. And, you know, that name is a great way to describe what it's like to race here at Monza. It is nothing but chaos all the time. You just got to consistently focus on hitting the right line. And I'll tell you what, going through those corners, it is bumpy. The car wants to go everywhere but the place it's supposed to go, Blake.
That is true. There's not a lot of room here. It's very bumpy. Again, this was a configuration that was left for dead. Monza has not used the oval in quite some time, but when iRacing was making their scan of this facility, it obviously included part of the oval, which is, you know, part of the historic road course here at this track, and they decided to go all the way around and give us a little bit of a taste of a track that, if you can imagine, back in the 1960s was discontinued for safety, which I think that kind of says it all, that even back in a time where safety was perhaps not at the forefront of motorsports, that even this track was pulled from competition for that reason. So interestingly enough, it sets up an amazing setting with all the trees built up. It's hard to see, and it makes for a very different and unique challenge that sim racing can provide, because, you know, hopefully we're not having to deal with issues here at Monza. Let's go ahead and take a look at the starting grid. Again, your top two spots off of qualifying time, and the rest were set by the 10-lap heat that we just ran. It'll be Logan Helton and Jack Painter, your top two on the front row. Tristan Hagenstein will roll off the inside of row number 2. Rudy Valentine in 4th. 5th to Tyler Williams. 6th will be Adam Martin. Lucas Plosel will start in 7th. 8th to Justin Malillo. 9th is Joe Berge. 10th, Casey Nimitz. 11th, Jake Poulin. 12th, Ryan Araki. 13th, Isaac Johnson. 14th, Michael Frisch. And 15th, Andrew Hardcastle. Your last two listed on the grid. We'll have to see if they make their way back onto the track. That is how they run. But again, 60 laps here at this facility. Going to have to exercise a lot of patience to make it all those 60 laps around, Taylor.
It certainly is, and we're going to be seeing this track. Most people think, running the bottom of this type of track would be the best way to get around this circuit. When in actuality, it's not. Running up right against the wall, right there, is the best opportunity for you to get a good run and keep a steady line throughout this circuit. Take Darlington, but going 200 miles an hour and a little bit of a longer track.
That is the case here as you took a look at the weather. 77 degrees, 89 track temperature. Relatively humid here in Italy, 65% humidity. As we'll get the pace car off here in just a couple of moments. It'd be an exciting one here at Monza. Josh, any thoughts before we take the green?
Yeah, this first lap's going to be very interesting. They're going to go side by side here. One of the things you got to look out for when you are following a driver going into turn number 1 here, as well as turn number 3, is make sure that you're not too far to the right. There is an Armco barrier that sticks out there, and if you're the unfortunate soul that follows a person into the trap, you could end up just nailing that Armco barrier and just ripping you out of this race. So be careful with that. Make sure you're not doing that, and we're going to go green.
We did see the 83 of Joe Berge do that in the heat race as he ran right into the jagged edge of that wall entering turn 1. We'll see if anybody else falls victim of it tonight. And we are green flag racing here at Monza. 60 laps. They'll go in double wide. Not sure how long that can last, but they'll sort it out. You see the bottom line for the most part on the apron on corner entry as they still try to sort it out. Gonna have to get single file quickly as you see Jack Painter still trying to hang tough on the outside, looking for the lead as they head down the back straightaway for the first time.
This track is a 2.6 mile circuit as a couple of cars are starting to drop back towards the back half of the field as they work down into turns 3 and 4. Logan Helton will take to the inside of the racetrack. Jack Painter will be the first car on the outside lane with Tristan Hagenstein, winner of your heat race. He was right there behind as they work off of turn 4, getting right back down to a level playing field as they continue on, watching out for the cones.
That is something you do have to be mindful of off of corner exit. It won't do any damage to the car, but is the least worth mentioning as Logan Helton will come across the stripe. He will lead lap number 1. He'll be single file up front. Side by side, they go for second. It's the only double wide battle on this racetrack is Painter and Hagenstein trying to fight it out, see who can get that P2 spot.
And special note here, Michael Frisch started from the pits and is about 11 seconds behind this field. Other than that, Rudy Valentine is the one that dropped back from the forward starting position and is now running 13th on the grid.
So Hardcastle not out on the racetrack. Michael Frisch elected to take the safer route and start from pit road, perhaps trying to look and save a faster pair. But with a 13-car pack, we'll have to see if these drivers are able to sort it out, if they can kind of keep it together, because you have to imagine Frisch in a pretty steep disadvantage if he's not able to capture any of that draft that lead pack would have. He's about 0.7 of a second off the pace than what this pack was this last time by. So if they can keep it together, they can just make it a 13-horse race amongst themselves. You see slotted in the middle right there, your points leader, Justin Malillo. He's running in the 6th position. Doing a nice solid job of just keeping it together. But Malillo been relatively consistent this year when it comes to this series, and he's put together a nice little effort. As now Helton will take all of the cones with him, so we talked about missing it. Helton trying to play a game of bowling here at Monza.
Is one currently stuck in the 83? There it goes.
Oh man, running that apron's really sketch. Your car's gonna get loose down there. It's gonna want to slide around. Gotta be careful going too low through turn 1 and 2.
And I think he did carry one of those
pylons.
Yeah, he carried it. It is possible for it to get trapped underneath the car. That is something that can, that's just something that can happen. So interesting there that, he's able to get away with it.
I've done that before, and it actually can obstruct the driver's vision if it's still on his end showing that it's there in front of him. So that may be why he's dropping to the back, just trying to not get caught. Oh, the leaders just hit the Armco barrier. Oh, my goodness. Like I said, you got to look out for that Armco barrier, and that's what just happened here into turn number 1.
Well, and that's exactly why Michael Frisch wanted to start at the end. And I think Hagenstein, he was actually just kind of messing around. I think he was doing what I think a lot of drivers try to do, is he was trying to bait the driver behind him into hitting it. And instead, he hits it. There's some massive neck code that throws the 34 of Tyler Williams back onto the road course.
We've never seen anything happen like that with Tyler Williams. What happened to him?
I mean, look, Hagenstein's just playing dumb, trying to get him to hit it, and he ends up hitting it. And then Williams is just sent to the other side of the world. He's sent to the Parabolica.
Oh, man, look at here. Taking the F1 course. Oh, that's rough.
What's worse is he was just absolutely just minding his own business, and then just a big old push just sends him upside down onto the Parabolica, as we just see. And thankfully they have a fast repair, but still a tough break for two competitors.
That is rough to see.
Did I call it or did I call it? The first caution was somebody just going and just nailing that Armco barrier, and it stopped him. And I loved how the other car just got sent off to the side, like just shot out of a cannon to the left. So rough day for both of them.
Well, what I didn't expect is, I figured somebody would hit it, but it would be an accident. Hagenstein, I mean, he didn't mean to hit it, but he kind of was trying to play around and basically bait the driver behind him into making contact with it. So kind of interesting that that's our first hit with it this season, is the fact that somebody basically swerved into it towards it intentionally and ends up getting tagged by it as well.
The biggest loser here is going to be Tyler Williams, who had to tow back to pit road. Is currently been in his stall for 2 minutes and 7 seconds, whereas Tristan.
Pit road.
Oh man, this is a rough time. Oh my
It looks
goodness.
like the 37 of Ryan Naraki just did the same thing on pit road with hitting one of the pit wall entrance instead of missing the pit area. So unfortunately for him, he will have to come down pit road to service that, along with the 14.
A lot of service taking place here on lap 6.
Let's see. Oh, yep, there it is. Oh man. That's that is not why you want to waste your fast repair. That is a terrible way to take out your fast repair, as we see right here.
A lot of skew on that car.
Boom. Oh man, right there. Oh, and it takes out the front end of the car behind. Oh man, that is
chaos.
This is going to be a race of attrition. I can already tell you that much. As we see right now, Casey Nemitz has already taken his fast repair, as well as Ryan Naraki. And trying to see who else might have taken a fast repair. Tristan Hagenstein did not take a fast repair. That is... Oh, nope, there he goes. Just got his fast repair done. That is wild.
So I'm a newbie to ATVO. If it says 1 over 1, does that mean they've used it or they haven't used it?
They've used it. 0 out of 1 means they've used it. 0 out of 1 total times available.
Okay. Imagine that you've been broadcasting this long and you're just now starting to use ATVO.
Hey, that's a new feature I didn't even know about till just now. I'd be like, hey.
Well, I think it was it was a recent update. I don't think that it was something that was on here very long until because to be honest, I feel like this was the case that really until Pro Invitational happened, nobody used fast repairs outside of the ARCA series. fast repairs was something I had never really even heard of, and I had been on iRacing for 10 or 11 years. Like, you knew they were there, but you never really discussed it, and you never broadcasted races that had it in it. And ever since Pro Invitational last year, I just think it's so common, so much more common to have fast repairs that now they have that built into a timing and scoring
system,
program. Yeah,
I believe iRacing also added that recently as a thing you can call in the API or SDK. So yeah, for telemetry. So it is a new feature for iRacing. It is a new feature for ATVO. But fast repairs, those are exciting. So we see one car. That's the 89 of Martin.
Who knew that we needed real life NASCAR drivers to teach us something about getting our car fixed more often in a video game?
Well, they're used to having backups, so
that is true. Well, not this year, I guess. You don't really have backup cars anymore this year because
that's very true.
You don't have practice and qualifying.
The only time we'll see practice in those series is the Indy Road Course and then Phoenix. That's it.
There you go. Those are the last two races this year that have practice, qualifying, and race, correct?
That is.
Wow.
I think so.
Of course, I'm pretty sure some people will be wanting some fast repairs and backup cars for this weekend at Watkins Glen.
Perhaps so. Which, I don't know, where are we? So I think in FTF competition this weekend, we were at Watkins Glen already. We were at the Indy Road Course already. So next would be Michigan, I suppose, for the Cup Series in GNS this week.
That's a great question, Blake.
I appreciate you asking.
Yeah, I would look at ask.
Well, the pace car is off, and Justin Melillo, your points leader, as we mentioned earlier, in his traction Ford, is your race leader. And by the way, yes, it'll be Michigan for both Cup and GNS.
Appreciate it, Blake.
Thank you, Kevin. All right, green flag is out, and we are back underway here at Monza. We still got 13 strong, or actually 14 strong, rather, rolling through into turns 1 and 2.
A little bit of a situation Justin is in as he is able to pull a little bit of a gap. This could allow drivers such as Isaac and Joe to make a big gain on them here on the back straightaway. In fact, here they come. Actually, big trouble for Isaac as he drops back after clipping the grass. But here comes Joe Berge as he'll work his way on the outside to complete the pass. New race leader as Logan Helton will follow suit.
Helton trying to make his way by into that top spot. He's almost going to do it. He's going to go for it here off the exit. This is a tight section, and you can see the amount of room that Berge's having to give him, but Helton able to lead it, or at least lead the way at the stripe. Now Frisch and the 83 are going to go into turn 1 side by side. Got to remember, don't want to get close to that guardrail, but Frisch pushing the back of the 63 is enough to move him forward. It's Berge sliding on the apron.
Oh man, that's no good. The higher you run, the bouncier it gets, and on turn 4 exit, that bounce gets you tight, and there's very likely you'll go out there and hit the outside wall on corner exit.
And he did a nice job of saving that. Again, these are really tight confines we've talked about at this racetrack, and like you mentioned, Josh, it gets tight, especially here off of turn 4. It was a really risky move for Helton.
Oh!
Move it Frisch into the wall. And they keep it together. Somebody almost hits the pit road wall down there. That was Jake Poulin. Boy, was that an issue.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Logan Helton nearly just died right before our eyes there as he was so close to hitting that just Armco barrier. And thankfully it's virtual racing, but here comes Justin Melillo. He gets a big push from Ryan Naraki to the inside down the back straightaway. You're currently on board with I believe that's the 27 of Tristan Hagenstein, but Melillo will now be in front of the field once again, the points leader here for the FTF SNL Super Speedway League as they work their way through turn number 4. Here comes Naraki taking a peek, but decides to follow suit.
Well, he decides to follow suit for a moment, then jumps out of line. And again, just mentioning, Ryan Naraki already used his fast repair, so he has nothing left. So does the driver that currently runs in third. on the outside there in the third spot. That is Tristan Hagenstein. So a couple of drivers who have already used their fast repairs, but they are not holding anything back here at Monza. They want to be up front early on. As you see, big fanning out in the back as Logan Helton also makes the move up front, change for the race lead.
Side by side back here for sixth. I believe that is Michael Frisch and Casey Nimitz as they get it ordered out. Not quite. Casey going to go side by side. And now, oh my goodness, side by side throughout the field.
Everybody leaving Logan Helton, who is side by side there for the third spot. But Melillo and Naraki, the two Speed Inc. teammates, will go 1-2. Through 1 and 2. I think the one thing we've seen early on, it is hard to keep the race lead. These cars get huge runs down these long straightaways, and nobody really content to ride in line right now. You still see 2x2. Even Melillo barely peeked out of line to maybe make a move for the lead, but they're 2x2 behind this group up in the top 5. Helton has the door shut on him by Naraki.
Jake Poulin did not get a good corner. That last corner is falling all the way to the back as we're 4 wide down the front stretch. Oh, my. Oh, and they get it sorted before we get to turn number 1.
4 wide as Helton and Frisch got shoved out wide. They eventually sort it back, and this is how quickly things can change. 4 wide down to single file as they enter 1 and 2. Naraki's still your race leader. You can see behind him, for the most part, just content to ride in line. Hagenstein now going to poke out for the race lead. Frisch going to go to the bottom 3 wide. Through the grass, he makes it work.
That's one of the drivers was saying on the radio, we're driving here as they work their way through the banking of turn 3 and 4. Frisch right below that yellow line. You don't want to be there, but he was able to hold on Melillo, trying to get a drafting help to catch up to Naraki. Here comes Joe Berkey, though, to get into second place.
And Berge again close to that Armco barrier, as well as Michael Frisch. Sigh of relief every time that we cross that section of the racetrack that nobody is getting up into the wall, or perhaps even worse, throwing Tyler Williams across the track. A little bit of blinking right there as Helton gets in line. He and Frisch are both running the grass and making up time.
They don't normally get away with that, I'll tell you that much.
Everyone giving 110% as they're now going to go 3 wide for the race lead. It's Helton, Frisch, and Berge throwing Hagenstein as they come to caution is out with 00 is around.
That is the 00 of Jake Poulin at the back of the pack. Have to see exactly what happened with him.
He went 3 or 4 wide and just caught the inside pit wall there, and it just caught at the left front of his car and spun him around.
Wow, you're right. That was unprovoked. He made a move down to the inside, but there is a split in that gate, and he caught the very end of it, and that was enough to spin him around.
And he only hit that at 214 miles an hour.
Yeah, so no harm, no foul.
No harm, no foul whatsoever, but he's now on pit road to continue on his way. He'll use that fast repair, I believe, which he has not used, as the field is now under caution for the second time here tonight.
Tyler Williams will be our wave-around driver, was 2 laps down, the only car that is any laps down, so Tyler Williams in the 34.
You know, I wish there was a fastest lap tonight, Josh. You could talk about it if there was.
Yeah, Tristan Hagenstein has the fastest lap at a 45.259. I don't know how fast that is in miles per hour. What's that? Producer's telling me.
I was kidding. That Josh, that is the Josh stat. He loves talking about the fastest lap, so I was gonna kind of just hand it to you.
I think fastest lap is a lot more exciting on road courses, but you do get 3 bonus points for fastest lap here in SNSL as we're coming down pit road.
I mean, I don't know. I'd have to argue that yes, it is important on a road course, but I think at a super speedway, it's actually probably. Because if you're on a road course, you think you need fresh tires. As golly, everybody's overshooting their pit stall. Look at the tire marks. Everybody I just saw 6 people overshoot their pit stalls at the same time. But I don't know. At a road course, you're going to get that fastest lap in the first 2 or 3 laps. You're on fresh tires, you have good traffic, and you get a clean, fast lap up at the front. In a super speedway, you can get it at any point in the run. You just have to build up the right draft and have enough, you have to get a run on the whole pack. And I don't know. I think it's interesting in these type of races to get a fastest lap because you never know when it could come.
Oh, absolutely. No, I think getting a fastest lap in any race is an impressive feat. I definitely think when you're on a super speedway, there's a lot more that can kind of go into a super speedway because those fastest laps tend to be within thousandths of a second, whereas on a road course they could be as much as a second in difference. And there's only one time to cash out a fastest lap, and that's on fresh tires at road courses, where, like you were saying here, anytime, any place, it's all about planning your moves to get that.
It is, and Hagenstein planned it well. 45.259. I mean, I'm looking at the rest of the times. That's about 6/10 better than the next closest time. Tyler Williams at a 45.872. So that is a great lap. That, I don't know, maybe it won't be matched again. Who knows? But that's gonna be a tough lap to beat from Tristan Hagenstein.
They're flying.
More ways than one.
Tyler Williams will tell us all about that.
By the way, Joe Berge did use his fast repair. The top 3 all use their fast repairs, in Berge, Naraki, and Casey Nimitz.
Only 9 cars have yet to use their fast repair here tonight. I'm pretty sure Jake Poulin, though, will be utilizing his fast repair once he gets his tow completed. As we see a couple of more cars coming down pit road. Interesting strategy call for drivers such as Jack Painter, the 45 of Lucas Plussel, as well as, I believe, the 18, the 89? 27
so.
of Tristan Hagenstein came down too.
Yeah, so he pulls down pit road, and that is Plussel, I believe. I called him Plussel earlier in the broadcast. Apologize for that.
I think Logan Helton missed or forgot that we were not running the road course here at Monza, and accidentally went down into the road course section for a little bit. So that's a rough day for... Man, I don't think these drivers need ways for an oval track, but here we are.
I don't know. I don't think you'd get confused running this track unless we were going the opposite direction, which I believe you can do in iRacing. Yeah. You can actually turn right on this oval, which I don't know. We always turn left. Wouldn't it be something to see these guys turn right in a race?
You can do it
sometime.
Absolutely.
Pretty soon we'll see them going up a mountain.
That's where you would see. Yeah, that's true. That's where I think you would see guys get confused, because they would actually go down the front straightaway the correct direction with the road course, and then they would forget to. They would head towards the oval, or they would head towards the road course chicane instead of turn 1, I guess.
Real quick, interesting on this lineup. Only 3 rows are double filed. It looks like the following rows have all been given penalties of some sort, whether that be speeding or something that resulted in them having to be lined up single file behind row number 3. It's interesting.
Well, you would know about that. You're the race control Jesus. If you know about black flag, if anybody knows about black flags or clearing them or penalties, it's probably Josh Mendoza. Pace car will pull off. Joe Berge will lead, again, a very long single-file line. One car getting a huge run at the rest of the field, and Jake Poulin is going to have the lead by the start-finish line. And now he's going to give it all back, but he runs into the barrier, and that's going to bring out a caution.
Oh, man, that was a wild restart. Tyler Williams is going to be the beneficiary, I think, to get his lap back here.
What in the world did we just see?
I think somebody who was thinking they can, get a good jump on the field since they were so far back, and unfortunately ran out of room, ran out of brakes.
Race Control just came over text chat and just asked a very simple question. Why? And I think that's the question a lot of us have right now.
Well,
I
you
mean,
know what? We'll throw it to you, our race control analyst. You know, you've been in that role before. What do you think is going through race control's mind when they ask why?
did you think you were gonna get away with it if you were able to make it work? Anyways, like that, you can't pass people at Mach 100, and yeah, I mean, look at this right here. He wasn't gonna make it work. He realized he wasn't gonna make it work. I didn't know if he maybe thought we were 2 to green. That might be the only excuse I could see him giving here. Like, oh, let me get my lap back. Oh, we're going green. Uh-oh. But other than that, I mean, that's a penalty regardless. I mean, that damage right there is
Well, I
going to be
think he
penalty
realized
enough.
it. He realized his mistake after taking the green and taking the lead, and he wanted to give the spots back, but then he realized that there's basically 2 choices. I can either turn and wreck in front of the pack, or I can miss the Armco barrier, the jagged edge, but unfortunately there's a wall right there too, so he really had no option. He couldn't get the car slowed down in time for that, especially because he was on the grass. So I mean, I guess, you know, hindsight's 2020, but just kind of taking the lead right there probably would have been the safest route, and then maybe coming down pit road if you have to serve a penalty. But he wanted to get out of the way, give it back, and he just ran out of real estate to do so.
Yeah, you would have had a bit of. Oh yeah, let's hear from the man himself, Jake. What happened there?
Just got into the grass a little bit on the restart and tried locking it down to not get anybody involved, and I just kind of hit the wall there.
Leading up to that restart, you were definitely, you made pace speed look really slow. How did you get up to speed so quickly?
Well, I just hammered down out of the pits and timed it perfectly. And then I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this. And then I got in the grass and panicked, and the rest is history.
Oh, we appreciate that, Jake. That is, I would say that is an accurate analysis of what happened there on that restart. Well, we hope you can hopefully get it back together. Are you out of this race? Can you get the car repaired? Are you meatballed, or what is it?
Oh, yeah, it's done. I just used my fast repair, and then I crashed again. So that's it for me.
Well, we appreciate you chatting with us, Jake. That was entertaining, to say the least. Always wild to see one of those kind of restarts.
All right, that is Jake Poulin. iRacing employee Jake Poulin, I might add.
That's the scary part.
Well, you know, I hope when he walks in on Monday, there's not a paper on his desk.
I like
Oh,
how
there'll be papers on his desk. Let's be honest.
Absolutely. I like how we asked him what happened, and he just neglected that he was already at like 200 miles per hour. He's like, yeah, I got a great restart, went on the outside, caught the grass. And it's just like, all right.
I mean, if you weren't a kid doing that in NR 2003 when you were like 5 years old, you know, did you really actually run a sim race when you were in kindergarten? I used to do that all the time. So is it just me, or is Casey Nimitz missing his hood? And he's restarting in second.
Okay.
Nice.
He looks okay.
I mean, you don't need a hood.
I mean, he's missing his hood, isn't he?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. He's missing his hood.
I see him missing a hood right now. I mean, you don't need a hood. What?
I mean, I guess not. He's keeping up. He's not fast, but he's keeping up, so it's good enough, I guess.
Just stay close enough behind the guy ahead of you. You're fine.
He has used his fast repair, so this is all he's got. As we look up front, or no, that's not Casey Nimitz. That's Adam Martin. Yeah, my bad. Adam Martin. Wrong driver.
See some side-by-side action here for third place as it gets real tight off corner exit, and now side-by-side throughout the rest of the field. This is starting to look like a traditional draft race here.
We hope so.
We hope so.
We still have 38 laps to go as they work through turns 1 and 2. Single file. I think they've realized the chaos that has happened, so maybe take a few minutes of breather. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be like this for the rest of the race, but as they now say that, they're going to go 2 wide as Ryan Naraki goes to the inside of Joe Berge down the back straightaway. Michael Frisch looking for a chance to go 3 wide as they enter turn 3. He's going to stay tucked up behind Joe Berge. Now moves to the outside as Adam Martin goes really wide up against the wall.
And Naraki keeping it pinned down beneath the apron. He was running for a majority of that corner, at least for the left sides on his Sirius satellite radio. Supras, now he gets a huge run, and Michael Frisch, bad bump. They save it, Naraki and Frisch. Oh, Frisch almost tried to pinch him up into the Armco barrier. That's a move. That's actually a great move.
It is a great strategy. I mean, you're gonna eliminate your opponent from the race. Oh! They just make contact off of turn 2 exit. We're 4 wide behind him. Oh my!
Who's that split in the middle? That is Logan Helton, who gets the best of it as he enters low. He and Frisch slide up, and Naraki almost make contact for the lead. Reminder, Naraki already has used a fast repair. So if he gets wrecked, he's pretty much done.
As some more fatalities happen to some of those little arrows pointing to where you should actually go. As we get right up against the wall for Naraki. Close call for him as one car sideways down to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll go. That's Michael Frisch holding on for dear life here. And he still survived.
Well, he's hanging out. He's vibing.
Yeah, he's just chilling. Michael P.
As they're banging bumpers for the lead up here. Wow. Jeez Louise. You know, I'll tell you, the scariest feeling is going into this turn right here, or turn number 1, with somebody right on your back bumper. All it takes is the slightest...
Naraki losing it for the lead!
It takes the slightest bump to do that. As you saw right there, him get loose throughout the corner, and gonna keep it together, fortunately.
Well, Naraki got his left sides on the apron and right sides on the banky. You kind of have to choose one or the other. He got trapped between them and about wrecked it from the race lead.
Oh, okay. All right.
Frisch is back at it, doing what he's doing best. And contact.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, that's going to be a caution.
That is-
89 car. Oh, block track.
Oh, the humanity here at Monza.
I think that's going to be a safety car, guys.
I would be undoubtedly sure that's a safety car.
Race Control has just announced they're launching the Mercedes safety car. I'm now being told it is not a Mercedes.
It is not a Mercedes. I actually don't know what it is. It's like a generic brand.
A generic automobile.
I don't know. What would a iRacing luxury sedan brand be known as? I don't know. But anyways, here's the replay of it. I actually think that was Martin coming down on Frisch. He was a little loose already. And unfortunately, the 18 tags him. That's going to be big damage for Jack Painter.
You know,
Hasn't used his fast repair yet.
I haven't seen any impacts that looked like that would be a meatball, so you could get away with just trying to repair it.
Martin also has not used his fast repair yet. Still hasn't used it.
We're not even halfway through this race.
By the way, Andrew Hardcastle, 20 laps down, is on the track. So he is way behind, but he is making laps.
Yeah, and he's our lucky dog, I believe. 20 laps down and getting the lucky dog.
I was about to say Jake Poulin already used his fast repair, and he's just sitting on pit road. So yeah, here he comes around the pace car. Andrew Hardcastle back to 19 laps down. Unfortunately, I don't think he can get 19 cautions, even if he wanted to. But he could definitely pass Jake Poulin and anybody else who falls out of the race.
I mean, he could try and bait as many of those lead cars to go and impale themselves on the Armco barriers and just try to eliminate the cars running. That is a strategy, but
it sometimes can be a little bit dangerous one.
as Tristan could tell us all about. No.
God, there must be no grip in these pit stalls. Everyone overshoots their pit stall here. It's amazing. Which I'm sure they are tiny. Like, that is one thing. This is not a traditional NASCAR box. You know, this is a F1 box, you know, not a NASCAR box.
Of course.
See the race off of pit road, won by Tristan Hagenstein, Casey Nimitz, Justin Malillo, Logan Hilton with a little bit of damage, Jack Painter with a lot of damage, and Frisch doing a burnout off of pit road, trying to heat up those tires.
That's a new way of heating up the tires when exiting off pit road.
Some style points right there.
Major style points. I give that a little bit of a 7.5.
FTF Cup Series championship contender. At least I think a driver that you'd have to look at as, you know, one of the guys who can go up there and potentially win that championship. Road to Pro driver for Lowline Racing, or with an affiliation with ESE. They're doing pretty well right now. Definitely a lot higher in points than I am, that's for sure, but just about anybody in that series can say that.
We're hearing right now that FTF has announced that Jake Poulin has been relieved of his duties with iRacing and FTF Racing, and they wish him well in his future endeavors. I'm not sure if that's an official report, but I'm being told that is a rumor. So,
I mean, they've decided to mutually part ways.
They'll be back together. They'll be back together in no time.
They walked up to him and they said, "You can sign this paper saying you resign, or sign this one saying you're fired."
No, we appreciate Jake Poulin around here. Keeps it entertaining. Gives us plenty to talk about up here in the booth.
Dead on that restart. All right, so we are almost halfway through this race. We'll be halfway by the time we take the green flag. It's a one to go this time by.
I thought Jake said he was out of this race. Did I see? We had a camera on. Yeah. Go, Jake.
I mean, he's
Still going.
maybe out of contention, but he's not out of the race.
Nah, he's 7 laps down. He's in contention still. That's for sure. You can get that back here, no problem. He's just got one back, actually.
He's it's gonna make Andrew Hardcastle's life much more difficult trying to get back on the lead lap. He was 18 laps down. Now he won't be able to get the lucky dog. That's an umpire. That was Jack Painter, who, I can't believe that car can move. He really pancaked that spinning car in the middle of 1 and 2. That was Adam Martin. There he is, trucking along. Has not used a fast repair yet, so he still has his fast repair. So he is betting on the fact that these guys are not done wrecking.
Couple of notes for the points. Jacob Hitz and Sean Butler, no showing tonight. They're second and third in points. And Andrew Hardcastle, the driver 18 laps down, is currently entering into the race 11th in points.
You know, I got something to say about that Sean Butler guy.
Oh, let's hear it.
Well, he's not here.
You can still say something. Oh, you want to say something to him or say something about him?
No, I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. He's not here.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, he's not here.
Yeah.
But he'll be here tomorrow, hopefully, for the E-Racer Roval Racing Series, brought to you by SBN.
We will see. Once again, only 2 rows are double file. Everybody else is single file. Pace car is off, and Casey Nimitz is your race leader in the 14 Chevrolet. He will lead him to the green flag, and we are 1 lap short of halfway as we get back underway for the 3rd time this evening.
Cars getting up to speed as they work their way off of turn number 2 here. Casey Nimitz trying to hold on to the race lead. Logan Helton will go to the inside. As we see Joe Berkey trying to think about going 3 wide, thinks better of it, gives the push to Logan Helton down the back straightaway as they work their way up into the bankings once again through turns 3 and 4. Actually going to go right on the bottom of the racetrack, then make the climb. Close contact, in fact, between Berkey as well as Casey Nimitz.
contact. Berge, as he has, I feel like we've seen a couple of times already tonight, moves up, chases it down to the apron, and somehow comes away saving that race car. Helton ahead at the stripe. Here comes Michael Frisch down on the inside looking to take back the race lead.
So we see them side by side through turn number 2, getting real tight off corner exit. Michael Frisch throws the slider going down the apron. Still side by side down the backstretch. Ooh. Don't get too close to that Armco, guys. They get right out of the way just in time.
Seems like it's not as much of an issue entering turn 3 as it is entering turn 1. Which kind of makes sense because I feel like the Armco entering 3 is right on the edge of where the track is, and then entering 1, it's much closer. As Frisch will go and hit the line of cones, he'll lose the draft as well. He'll slot back into 4th, and at the line that time, 16 1/1000ths of a second, Tristan Hagenstein.
They put the first 4 underneath a blanket. They're side by side down the back stretch. A little bump drafting. Gets those other 2 on the outside a little bit farther ahead.
Yeah, we see a little bit of drag racing down back as they enter turn 3 and 4 through the middle of the corner. See how much the cars are just bumping through this section of the course as they come rocketing off turn 4. Right there, almost against that pit wall as they head down the front straightaway here, close for comfort as they work their way through. You see Casey trying to push Tristan, and Frisch nearly getting into the Armco barrier once again.
You know, it reminds you of if you saw a video today from the Nashville or the Music City Grand Prix that's running in IndyCar. Kind of reminds you of this surface as well. Very bumpy.
Indeed, it is. We see them going into turn number 3. These guys on the outside lane. Oh my goodness. Jeez. That's about as close as you can get to wrecking without wrecking. You'll see these cars, they're very bumpy, especially right there on that outside line. Not much you can do. Oh, as we see Frisch just hit that outside wall because of those bumps. Still has a faster pair, so I mean, I guess you can just keep hitting those until he finally says enough is enough and needs to take a faster pair.
It's a tough place to hit the wall. We've seen it time and time again. You hit it there off of 4, you're probably coming down into traffic. Frisch has been lucky that he has escaped that a couple of times already in this race, as we are at 27 laps to go. And once again up front, Casey Nimitz going to try to go after the race lead. He gets it successfully. Logan Helton right with him to try to make a move to second. He's able to do that as well. Hagenstein, Frisch. It's really been these 4 drivers battling it out for the last handful of laps or so. Meanwhile, everybody else content to just kind of ride in line behind them, not really make any moves that are too aggressive, as now they go 2 by 2 into turn 1.
Logan Helton right against the wall as they work their way through turn 1 and 2. Hagenstein trying to hang on as they're running right against that yellow line through the middle of turn 1 and 2, but still can't work it out as they come down the back straightaway. Lap traffic in front of them right now. That is our dear iRacing employee, Jake Poulin, who hopefully will survive the chaos that's about to approach him.
We'll see if he can survive it. Oh, they're close behind him as Poulin lets the field on by. Michael Frisch nearly got together. I believe it was with Tristan Hagenstein right there, as you saw on board of the Poulin machine, excuse me. But now the top 3 have separated. You have 3rd through 6th that are all trying to chase him down. Hagenstein and Rocky Berge all trying to chase down Casey Nimitz, Logan Helton, and Michael Frisch.
Jake Poulin. Oh, go right ahead.
One driver going into the grass. That's Michael Frisch, who hits the wall. He makes contact with Naraki, tries to gather it back up, and keeps it going. I think it's safe to say that Michael Frisch will need a faster pair here soon.
He is using up about every corner of that race car one by one, so eventually I don't know how much he'll have left. Still able to keep up in the draft again down this front straightaway, reaching upwards of 210 miles an hour. So that car is still scooting at a pretty good rate, but he's maybe going to have to rely on a caution flag or something coming out to try and slow this race back down. Take a look up front. Casey Nimitz, Logan Helton, Tristan Hagenstein. Now they are the three cars battling it out up front. Ryan Naraki trying to join the fray as well. Joe Berge looking to try to contest it as well. So now a 5-car breakaway. Melillo has been directly behind them this whole run. Not really willing to go up there and duke it out with these guys just yet, but just kind of riding around at 6. He's actually going to get a challenge, what looked like from Michael Frisch as he'll tuck in line, but big slide off the corner. Nimitz into the fence.
So we go side-by-side down the Monza front stretch and single file right back up as we go into turn number 1. Everyone getting their P's and Q's together. So we have a side-by-side battle right now for the lead. Logan Helton on the inside of Tristan Hagenstein. And they get that sorted pretty quickly.
Now you may have to wonder why some of these drivers are battling so hard up at the front at this juncture in the race. Well, guess what? There's bonus points for leading laps. There's bonus points for leading the most laps in this race. Perhaps out of battle is Helton somehow moves up the racetrack and doesn't stuff Hagenstein into the fence. I don't know how that wasn't a wreck.
Up and around, Frisch around.
Oh, no, that's Frisch. That's his faster pair right there.
No caution yet.
No caution. Wow. That's going to create 2 distinct groups here, 4 for the lead pack, and then another 6 or 7 about 2 seconds behind them. We'll see Frisch getting it rolling here.
Frisch wants that caution as he's doing a burnout here on the front straightaway, and it is not coming. Barney is right there, right next to him, and Barney doesn't care. Barney is not budging.
Barney's like staring down Michael Frisch and be like, I'm about to throw this black flag at you if you keep doing burnouts, unfortunately. So he's got to get going.
Frisch is going to drop by the stand, and I think I saw the number 1 salute out of the window from Michael Frisch as he passed Barney right there. But meanwhile, that might be it. Hagenstein's going to hit the barrier.
He went into another dimension.
Immediately came over the radio and said, I will see you guys next week. So we see him. He's made his way back to the paddock area. Not quite sure how that one works out, but that is some impressive towing services provided by iRacing.
I mean, he just vanished.
He hit that barrier at over 180 miles an hour. Before he had that contact, 214 miles an hour.
And remember, he already used his fast repair, so even with the tow, he can't get back in the race. Have to imagine that is some crippling damage as he was evaporated into the air. Hagenstein is out of this race. And still, Barney the Flagman, the uncaring soul, still not throwing the yellow flag.
Oh, we might have it right here. We have 2 cars collected in turn number 2. That's the 37 car. There it is. Finally.
Barney's like, I can't see it, but I'm going to wave a flag now.
You know who's happy about that one right now is Michael Frisch, who is the only car 1 lap down. Well, not really sure what's going on here. We'll see if he gets his fast repair. We'll see if he gets the wave around here from race control. So we see the replay.
He was looking to enter pit road just before the caution came out. So basically the caution came out, and then about a second later he entered pit road. But unfortunately for him, he's going to lose another lap because of this.
I'm going to go review that, see if he made it.
It was close. As you see Justin Melillo into the wall. Ryan Naraki spinning around. Heavy damage on his machine. He has already used his fast repair. And I think he's actually called it a night.
Yeah, Frisch just disconnected, so it's a null point anyways, but I think he got a entering closed pit penalty, and that's why he was not leaving the pits as quickly as he was. Oh boy, and the 37 car just retired.
Isaac Johnson, you can see into the fence there. Justin Melillo, who had not used a fast repair, may have to use his now. There's going to be there's a fair amount of cars that are starting to leave the race. Naraki, Hagenstein, Frisch, all in a matter of moments are out of this race. So there's really only going to be about 9-10 cars left or so, it seems like, when we get back going.
And about 8 really in contention for winning this race.
Looks like Jake Poulin and Andrew Hardcastle are going to be waved around the car, or waved around the pace car here. Looks like Barney, the official, is being nice and allowing 2 lucky dogs per caution right now.
Being very fortunate. We'll have to see how many fast repairs of drivers who had not used them up to this point get used at this juncture. Adam Martin, again, he's still missing a hood, has not used his fast repair yet. Malillo hasn't, but imagine that he will see 3 other drivers overshoot their pit stalls because I guess it's just so darn easy to do at this track. I guess there's just no grip on pit road. That's the only thing I can think of. It's just that there's no grip down there on the concrete.
That's all I can think of either, as we see Joe Berkey win the race off pit road. And still no major craziness like we saw at the last pit exit we saw from Michael Frisch. So we're going to get them all lined up and back at it here momentarily.
Hey, Blake, we're here in Italy. What's your favorite Italian dish to eat? Or I guess dish in general to eat, since Italy is known for its food.
It's strange because, I mean, growing up, I was a big lasagna fan. Like, that was kind of my favorite food. I wouldn't say I've grown out of that. I still love lasagna, but I don't really have like one pasta that I really like over the other. Like, I'm just kind of a fan of a lot of different pastas. I wouldn't say that one sticks out above the rest. I like anything with mushrooms in it. I love mushrooms. I know that, I don't know, some people find that weird, but I really like mushrooms. Yeah.
Well, I was going to mention my favorite kind of pasta, lobster pasta. And you know where you can get lobsters? In New Hampshire, where we're going to be here tomorrow. We're going to be here, but on iRacer. STN's going to be there. We're going to be doing the Roval Racing Series at New Hampshire, famous for its lobsters. Get me some lobster pasta. Do not miss it. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, that was one long drawn transition to promote the Roval Racing Series, Blake. Thank you.
That was an interesting segue, I do gotta say.
Yeah. Well, Taylor, I mean, I guess we gotta ask you, any dish that you favor that's totally influenced by some arbitrary thing?
I really am a fan of all types of pastas, to be honest. I mean, I just don't have one particular favorite to be at all, because it's all good food, pretty much, with Italy.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too.
You just can't pick one type of pasta.
Yeah, like anything with, like Italian sausage in it, in the sauce or whatever is really good.
So I traveled to Italy 2010-ish. I was at the time 12 years old. Was here for 2 weeks, and in that time, I think I ate margarita pizzas for lunch and dinner every single day.
Hey, Josh, you know what me and Blake were probably doing at 12 years old? Stuck here in the United States going to school. So
it was summer break. It was summer break.
Still.
Let's see, when I was 12, that would have been 08. So yeah, definitely not in Italy.
Yeah.
But I think in the total I ate 28 margarita pizzas. 28 to 30. And I definitely paid the price for it. I was a happy little boy. I enjoyed my food.
That's good to hear, Josh.
That's good. Give you a gold star.
So we're one degree.
One other pasta I liked. There was one from O'Charlie's. It was a prime rib pasta. I know that's not like Italian food, but that was a good pasta. I like that one.
Well, when you throw a prime rib into something, it's always going to be good.
Ooh,
yeah. I don't know if they have it anymore. I haven't been to an O'Charlie's in a very long time, but I used to like to get that when I went there.
This one to go brought to you by our hungry stomachs.
Red Lobster. Yeah, by the way, iRacer's running a race at New Hampshire tomorrow.
Lobster.
So what will the winner of each class get, Josh? Will they get them a small lobster figurine?
I will send them a lobster emote on Discord.
There you go.
All right, we'll try to bring this back on the rails as the pace car will pull to the safety of pit road. Joe Berge, Lucas Plussel, your top two, Isaac Johnson, Logan Helton round out the top four, as there are 5 fast repairs left in the field. Plussel and Helton have 2 of those. As we are back underway at Monza, thinner field, and they're able to sort themselves out quicker because of that. They go single file through 1 and 2.
Berge leading on his series debut right now, but for how long? They're already charging on the outside. That's the 45 of Lucas Plussel.
Lucas Plussel with a big run. He's going to try to challenge for the race lead and going to be able to do it easily with the help from Logan Helton. Berge there stuck on the inside once again on the apron. Time and time again, that has been the case, and he will slot himself all the way back a couple of spots, back to the 7th position.
Do you think he's realized that this is not a type of super speedway race where you want to be on the bottom of the racetrack? I mean, every time we turn around, he's always right there on the bottom of the racetrack.
I think that is the case. But and also, we're kind of getting at a point where we can't talk about this. Do we need another fastest lap update from Josh Mendoza?
I think we do.
Right now, as it stands, I haven't seen any changes in fastest lap at the moment. I think that still is going to be in Logan Helton's hand. Oh, Tristan Haggett's side. I'm sorry. There you go. Same driver. 5.9
has some staying power.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get that beat, especially with the amount of damaged cars out here. Unless you have a fast repair in your pocket, I think the overall speed of the field is going to be reduced probably about 1 to 2 miles per hour on average.
You know, one driver that's challenging for it, Andrew Hardcastle, just ran a 2.65.
Oh, boy.
So he's about 7/1000ths of a second short of that goal. So he is trying to get it, and he has nothing else to lose. He's 16 laps down, so he might as well go for it, I guess.
He's got a huge opportunity here. Plenty of space out in front of him. Probably about 5 car lengths to Justin Melillo. Definitely another opportunity in the chamber for him here to set fastest lap, but he's going to get a little loose. That's definitely not going to help his cause there.
I think what he has to do, he has to get about a second or a second and a half back from a car in front of him and not limit. Oh, there they go.
Oh, my God. Oh, no. That's not going to help his fastest lap case.
Probably not. Johnson's still trying to save it down the front straightaway. A monstrous crash here at Monza. And the caution flag is out yet again. That is going to take out a number of our front runners.
Number of our cars, period, as we will take a look at the replay here momentarily. As the bar visual replay comes up, chaos ensues here on the front straightaway, Blake, as we take a look at this. And I think it's just a little bit of mix of bad bumps. Drivers trying to jockey for position. As here's Logan Helton and Joe Berge. 3-4 wide, makes a contact with Casey Nemitz, and along with the 45 of Lucas Plussel, and right into the Armco barriers, and as well as into the pit walls.
I'm glad this wasn't the end of a Formula One Grand Prix, because I think Nimitz would have taken out a fair amount of crew members right there.
No kidding.
Over the wall.
You know, that spin reminded me of that Sonoma spin where you saw all 3 in at the same exact time spinning together. It was that was pretty entertaining.
But again, a number of those drivers had not used a fast repair up to this point. Casey Nimitz was one of those drivers, and I believe, actually no, Nimitz has used his fast repair, so his chance at a win is likely over. Looking at Rudy Valentine, Lucas Plussel.
That was an error waiver round issued for Lucas Plussel, so he won't be taking that.
Isaac Johnson is just spun in the pit lane live, and the problem is this is such a thin pit road, he actually can't get the car spun around. He's having to back up and forward 5 times to try and get the car turned around.
So he's trying to Austin Powers it.
Pretty much. I mean, that's a narrow entry, especially right at the entrance of pit road. That's where Formula One exits and gets back up on the track. Yeah, you can see him. He got loose, spun it, and He's like a really bad driver at the boat ramp.
Come on. You can do it, Isaac. One more turn.
Yes.
There you go, Isaac. Get back out there and have some fun.
Oh, man.
So, do we call that what?
Great work by our camera crew for catching that, by the way.
Yes. So is that what, a 9-point turn?
That was a lot of points. Okay. Well, 12 laps to go. We have thinned the herd once again. I don't know if there's really anybody that has, or I think the 78 of Rudy Valentine has a faster pair left. Adam Martin still does. You can still see he is missing his hood right now. He has not used it. The 45 of Plusle has not used his either. And Justin Malillo.
There should be a bonus point for those who do not use their faster pair at all for these races.
Ooh, that's a great idea. I love that idea.
I mean, I just think that if you use a faster pair, it should cost you money, and you should pay the broadcasters.
Ooh, I like that idea better.
It's unlimited, but you have to pay for each one.
You know what? I like the way you think, Blake.
I mean, that's a typical drag racer thing. That's buying back. You get beat in first round, and you buy back into the second round. Next e-racer event will feature that, I'm sure, because they'll make bank on it. Adam Martin has used his faster pair.
Interesting. 11 laps to go. I mean,
It's gonna be 10 laps, less than 10 laps to go when we take the green flag.
Oh man, Lucas uses his. I don't know. I don't know if I subscribe to this being the time to use it, especially with how absolutely insane these race restarts have been. So
Currently, only 2 drivers have yet to use their faster pair, Justin Malillo and Rudy Valentine.
Now, keep in mind, when we talk about these faster pairs, that at the end of these races, there are green-white checkers, but at the most, there's 5 of them.
I think that's going to be plenty with the amount of cars in this field.
Well, that's plenty, but what if we have that many wrecks? I mean, we may end up in a situation where nobody has a faster pair left.
It's going to be more awkward than Lewis Hamilton at Hungaroring this past weekend.
This is true. We have 59 minutes and 38 seconds to finish out the next 11 laps. I mean, that might be pushing it. If we have to use all of those green-white checkers. The producer takes the timer away. Doesn't like me using that stat. It's okay, Mr. Producer Man. Zach, we're going to go green this time by. Oh, this is the amount of time remaining if we stay green required to finish this race. So that's the estimate.
Estimate is the key word.
Yeah. Going to be going green, 10 laps to go.
We will. Pace car is going to pull off. Once again, Joe Berge, the 83 car, leading the field. The 78. I'll have to get this right at some point. I don't know if it's Valentine or Valentine. I think it's Valentine. We'll take the green. We see one blue car trying to do their best Jake Pullen impression, but they'll pull it back in line. So they go side by side into one. Berge and Valentine battling for the lead.
As Berge will once again go where he is known best, down to the bottom of the racetrack, sliding back.
I think that's a strategy play for Berge. He doesn't want to... I don't think he wants to be up in that lead pack. I think he just doesn't like the idea of being up there.
Does not have a faster pair left, so perhaps it could be a strategy call. He led the last couple of restarts, but now he's drifted back there. The 78 now has the race lead. Does Johnson or Helton make a move to try to get around him?
9 laps to go this time by. Still single file. Nobody making a move just yet as we go into turn number 1.
How about Justin Malillo missing the front clip of his race car, and he is still riding up here at speed. in the 4th position.
Just shows how important the draft can be here at Monza, as he's got the help of the 18 of Jack Painter behind him as they work their way down the back straightaway. He probably couldn't be able to lead a pack of cars to get up to the front, but him in this position right here is the best possible chance for him to stay up towards the front of the field. And a good points night for him, as a lot of his competitors who he's battling for a championship with are not here or already out of the race.
It's a good point to make. If he can just have a solid run, helps him in the championship a lot, is now he actually is not going to play patient. He moves his way by Logan Helton, slots himself into 3rd, right behind Valentine and Johnson. So how about Justin Melillo making some moves with the damaged race car? Yeah, again, he can afford to be aggressive right here. He has that fast repair in tow if he needs it, and he's going to go for 2nd because of that.
I mean, he's quick enough. I think he could definitely battle for 2nd, as we see him go side by side through 3 and 4 here over the big bump on corner exit. They get real tight next to each other. That's going to separate the pack out, but it's 2 by 2. Oh, big push for Justin. Almost loses it. Wow.
Able to hang on, though. What a job he did. Johnson almost up into the guardrail. Oh, contact with Helton. He chased it down the racetrack. He'll save it. Getting aggressive up here.
Speeds are continuing to progress. We might see possibly the new fastest time here as they work off of turn 4. I see a lot of green and possibly maybe even a purple sector for one of these drivers as they work off of turn 4 down the front straightaway here. A couple of cars getting out of line. They try to get themselves reacclimated as they come across the line. No one has been able to beat that 45.259 just yet.
Last time by, nobody in the 45-second range, so it's definitely thinned out. And of course, you really only have 5 or 6 cars drafting up here, so harder to maybe accomplish that at this point in the race. As you see the race leader and Valentine goes low to block Isaac Johnson. He's able to hold off that charge down the back straightaway. They work into 3 and 4. Melillo in 3rd. Logan Helton looked to have a run at those top 3. And, oh, man, he slots right behind Melillo, who cut down in front of him. That could have been a big moment. Helton backs out of it, and now he's under assault for 4th. Oh, my goodness, he and Martin are close as they enter 1.
Hey, Josh, we have a new fast lap.
And who is it but Andrew Hardcastle? He laid back that last lap. I think it was like a second and a half back starting the last lap. And look where he is now. He used all of that space in front of him to draft his way back to the pack. And that's going to be good for a 45.242.
Hitting speeds close to 220 miles an hour before he crosses the start-finish line. It's just absolutely flying around Monza as they come off of turn 4.
They are, and Melillo looking for the race lead. Helton giving him a shove. 4 laps to go this time. The scheduled distance is Valentine and Johnson doing a great job utilizing a 2-car tandem to hang on. Melillo and Helton not able to do anything with the run that they've tried to build up. Like you said, Andrew Hardcastle likely will have that fastest lap. Again, he has nothing to lose, 15 laps down, so he can focus the next however many laps on him, perhaps even trying to stretch out that advantage as they're still single file up front. Getting in the nitty gritty here. They'll come around this time. It'll be 3 to go.
Oh, we go.
Will he hold on? He does, and then contact, hold on to it. Luke Plussel is around. Caution is out. And that means the first of 5 attempts of a green-white checkered are about to happen.
And looks like Lucas Plusso is out of this race.
Adam Martin, man, that's tough. He's been hanging around this whole race. Looks like he and Jack Painter got together off of turn 4. The 18 was on the outside, and not sure if Martin did, or no, Martin was just loose. He was losing it the whole corner after initial contact from Jack Painter. And of course, Plusle gets wrapped up in it, nowhere that he could really go. A lot of smoke.
We see him working, getting quite the run here. Just kind of brings it down. Oh, just slides up barely. Keeps it together.
Could have gotten worse for him. Painter definitely got a little bit of damage there, but not terrible. Plusle took a pretty hard hit, and then, of course, Adam Martin really hard in the inside wall. Surprised that brought out a caution. We've seen a couple spins there kind of at the pit lane entrance, and it hasn't warranted a yellow flag. The one involving Michael Frisch earlier was a great example of that, but I guess with 2 cars or so, it was enough to trigger Barney, whose cold heart has softened a little bit here late in the going. A couple of takers onto pit road, but again, this is going to set up green-white checkered territory for the rest of this race.
What in the world? Justin Melillo stays out. He still has a fast repair, right? Yeah. Why don't you take it? 5 green-white checkers? That's an awfully big risk going into the potential, the first green-white checkered. You got to hope with this many cars that somebody's going to wreck on that first lap.
I am in full support of this because I think this isn't the first attempt that we'll see. And again, he and Rudy Valentine are the only 2 drivers left that don't have a fast. I mean, I know he wouldn't do it, but imagine if you were Justin Melillo right here. You could intentionally cause a wreck the whole field, and guess what? You're the only one that can fix your car.
He's also one of the race admins,
I know, but is that not a strategy? You know, instead of hitting the gas here, you just hit the brake on the restart and come down and get your fast repair.
That is definitely one way to go about it.
It's going to be interesting, and everyone just hold on. We're about to see chaos ensue even more here.
Well, the thing is, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you thought staying out without taking the fast repair was audacious, wrecking the field would probably make that even just seem like 10% as audacious as wrecking the field as a race admin.
I mean, again, it's a strategy, and it's also worth mentioning that Melillo isn't way off the pace with that damage. He's still been able to keep up. He may not be quite as fast as a completely normal race car, but he certainly hasn't been 10, 15, 20 miles an hour off the pace either. So I think the gamble is worth it, assuming that there may be some more wrecks ahead. I mean, we only have 8 cars on the lead lap right now.
8 cars on the lead lap and 11 running. But I'm actually kind of surprised there's not more cars out of this race already with the amount of cautions we've seen. You would have thought half the field would be out, but nope. 11 cars going strong.
The white, no. Why did I say white flag? Lights are off on the pace car. It is going to be the first of 5 green-white checkered attempts. At the moment, you only see 5 cars lined up. This has just been the theme. We've really only had 2 rows in the first, or 2 double file rows, and then everybody else is single file from 5th on back. I think that'll be the case again. Justin Melillo on the bottom of the racetrack has to try and find some friends. That's the other thing, though. If you're Melillo, even if you're not off the pace, you really want to push that 53 car if he's ahead of you. I'd say the answer is probably no. You'd rather push somebody that has a clean nose on their car. Goes Hardcastle again. They're giving him a couple of wave rounds per lap. He is back to 13 laps down. He will pass Tyler Williams for 11th. And that's not to mention if we have a couple of tries at a green-white checkered, he could finish as high as 10th, I think. So not bad starting 20 laps down when he got off the pit road.
Certainly not, as we see some of the field starting to reach the back side of this pacing field. But it's, man, that is still a very thin field. Got to figure that at least 2 or 3 of those drivers that are part of the current running order are just going out and getting laps back. So they were not going to be part of this restart, as we see the 14 lining up on the outside row. That's a solid little restart here.
It should be. Might be the first of one. It could be the first of 5. We will have to see. Lights are out. Pace car is going to pull off. Melillo and Helton, your top 2. As you see, only now 8 cars up there at the front of the pack.
Oh,
and
no.
He is going to turn Logan Helton before they even get the green flag. No caution, though. They keep it together. Berge got loose. Helton slides on back, and now Melillo maybe in a really vulnerable spot. He has a big lead heading into turn 1.
As we see Rudy Valentine now go to the inside as they work down the back straightaway off of turn 2. Here comes Isaac Johnson with a big push to Rudy as they work down the back straightaway. Justin Melillo slides back to 3rd. He has no help. This could be a little bit difficult situation for him as they work into turn 3.
This is Go ahead.
Melillo not going to be able to catch them, though. He's got no help. They're almost wrecking behind them. Berge and Martin get together, but they keep it straight.
This is absolutely not what Melillo wanted to see here. They're going to keep it straight, and they're going to get the white flag here in a couple hundred feet. Once he sees that, his chances are probably not looking good.
Well, he can rely on the top 2 to wreck each other, and he probably has a pretty good shot. White flag in the air. One more trip around. Rudy Valentine, where does he go to block? Johnson is going to get a run on this back straightaway, but what does he do with it? And even Melillo lurking a little bit. He's got a bit of a run down the back chute.
He certainly does. Down the back straightaway, he'll look to the inside. Now slides back into the line with the rest of the field as they dive it into turn 3 and 4. Melillo's looking for the opportunity. Johnson trying to back up to get a good run-off corner exit.
And Melillo going to push Johnson. It's his only chance at maybe winning this race. Off of 4, contact made, and they touch. Where does he go? Melillo up the inside. Valentine's going to block. Melillo gets turned, and Valentine is going to do just enough to hang on. Rudy Valentine is your winner tonight at Monza in a mad dash to the finish.
And Logan Helton decided to go through the parabolica, then make a cut through the wood.
You know, that almost played perfectly into Justin Melillo's setup there. Coming out of 4, the 2 lead drivers, Isaac Johnson, Rudy Valentine, got caught up with each other, almost went and did the thing we've seen twice or 3 times tonight where they went to that inside wall, but they kept it together and went 3 wide.
That was a tight hole for Melillo to try to squeeze in there, but I thought that Johnson and Valentine were going to get collected. I thought when they made contact, it was going to spin the 78 around. But luckily for Valentine, he collects it back up, throws a good block on Melillo. I mean, he was in front of him, and he pretty much just used Johnson as a way to throw Melillo off the line. And it ended up being enough for Valentine to hang on. So a solid effort there from the 78. He wins tonight at Monza. As you take a look at your full race results, Rudy Valentine up there. He takes the top spot. He wins the race. Isaac Johnson second. Justin Melillo in third. Logan Helton, as you mentioned, in fourth. Joe Berge fell back to fifth, about a second and a half behind the pack. Jack Painter in sixth. Adam Martin seventh. Last car on the lead lap was Casey Nimitz in eighth. Lucas Plussel ninth. 6 laps down. Jake Poole in 10th. Andrew Hardcastle 11th. Tyler Williams 12th. Ryan Naraki 13th. 14th was Tristan Hagenstein. And 15th, dead last, was actually Michael Frisch. After exiting mid-part of the race, everybody else kind of chased him back down and puts him at the tail end of the field. But why don't we we have our third place finisher. He's caught up with Josh Mendoza. It's Justin Melillo.
Justin, everything looked so perfect. You had your fast repair ready to go. You were, I imagine, expecting another wreck, and then all of a sudden on that restart, they all got strung out. What were you thinking going into turn number 1?
I haven't been thinking a whole lot lately, and everybody told me that I didn't have a front bumper, but I was still showing up at like 2,000 RPM, and I was like, you know what? I'm holding up with these guys, and I think I can hold them off. And then the restart happened. I told Berge in private, I'm like, I'm going early, He went when I went, and he either spun the tires or Logan spun the tires or something happened behind me, and I got out to way too big of a lead. Rudy and Isaac just blew by me, and then my only chance was in turn 4. I was pushing the 33 into the 78, hoping something would happen, and something almost did happen. So it was a really fun race. I really enjoyed it. I wish we had a few more people here tonight, but it's 15 people at Monza is still too much sometimes.
Now you were saving that fast repair, obviously, to hopefully take it at some point later in the race. If we would have had another couple of cautions, would you have done it this caution, or would you have waited for more? Did you think we had more if we would have wrecked that first time?
I don't think I would have used it unless I needed to. And at that point, on that final pit stop, I didn't feel that I needed to. I really felt like my car was competitive enough to keep up with the leaders. And I have raced here so many times. Between Monday Night Racing and this league and other special events that have gone on, it just turns into an absolute cluster 9 times out of 10 out of turn 4, and the winner is completely somewhat random. And I was just hoping for that to happen once again tonight, and unfortunately for me, everybody kept it clean out of turn 4, and it was a pretty cool finish. I held on to it and slid across the line in third, so I'll take that.
Well, it's good to see you get your Traction GG vehicle. I don't even know what make it is because I can't see the front clip. Into third place. Anyone you got to thank for this performance today?
Definitely going to thank Traction for all that they do for me. Definitely stay tuned to Traction for all your esports and racing game news. Yeah, definitely do that next week. And want to thank you guys for putting on another great show.
We appreciate it, Justin. Thanks for catching up with us. Back over to you, Blake.
Justin Malillo, your third place finisher tonight. And we'll just keep it in order here. We'll roll off next with Isaac Johnson, who brings it home in second and was just 56 one-thousandths of a second away. He's caught up with Taylor Burris.
Here with Isaac Johnson coming home in second. Isaac, a very strong performance coming home in second. Did you feel like you had enough maybe to make the slingshot around for the race win?
I definitely did. I felt like I timed it wrong, however, but at the end of the day, I was working with Rudy. I was working with a lot of the F4R guys. They're good people, and I never will ever attempt to jeopardize both of our races by doing something really stupid. So at the end of the day, I was just going to try and bring both cars home, but I was definitely going to try and go for the win, and I tried, but I just made a mistake.
Explain to our viewers here tonight, the difficulty of racing here at Monza and just how treacherous but yet exciting it is to run at this type of an oval.
Every single lap around here is a different quantity. You never know what's going to happen going into the corner. The way the bumps are, especially mid-corner and turn 3, that thing just tries to jump out, and my dogs are very excited as well. But definitely running side by side with Malillo and those guys, it is probably one of the hardest things I've ever done on iRacing, pushing Rudy, making sure I don't screw up and wreck everyone, because at the end of the day, it's so freaking hard to drive here.
Well, before we let you go, Isaac, anyone you would like to say thank you to?
I would like to thank FTF and SNSL and everyone who put on the show tonight, especially you guys up in the booth for broadcasting this awesome race. Want to thank Slipstream for putting up the paint scheme bounty and the stuff like that. And just, thanks for everyone for showing up.
Of course, that is Isaac Johnson coming home in second place.
And we'll go ahead and turn it over to your race winner tonight, Rudy Valentine. You made the blocks exactly when you needed them. You're in the right spot. How did it feel from the seat of that race car?
Well, it was pretty tough. Coming off turn 4 there, I turned across Isaac's nose, and luckily I felt the bump. So I hooked the wheel to the right there, make sure to keep it off of him. But, well, all I gotta say is that was amazing. I think Isaac would have had me if I didn't block Justin there and get a nice little bump on the front stretch there. But that's a second FTF win at Monza. So I guess this is one of my best tracks now.
It seems to be the case. If you can consistently be up front in the chaos, just kind of describe trying to make those moves, trying to plan things out. You have your fast repair into us. What was kind of the strategy overall coming into this race?
So I decided early on that I was going to wait until the last 10 laps or so to go. So literally just the entire race, I was pass me, just go around me. And I was just trying to sit in the back the whole time. It ended up working out for me, I guess, because I didn't have to fix any damage. I didn't use my fast repair. So I guess my plan did work out pretty well then, huh?
It looks like it did. Well, Rudy, congratulations. Your winner tonight of the Slipstream Race Graphics 225. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Rudy Valentine, again, your winner tonight at Monza as we keep rolling along with this FTF Saturday Night Super Speedway League, except it's on Fridays. Guys, final thoughts.
It was chaotic, it was a blast, and always great to see these cars on such a historic track since, unfortunately, we can't see it being run in the real world anymore. We can still see great historic racing at this track.
Absolutely. I echo that statement. It's always fun to see us go to sort of a fantasy track and see, how these cars would race on them. And every time we come to Monza, it is truly madness. And, I think you're onto something, Blake. I want to see us run this sometime, but in the opposite direction. That would truly be entertaining to watch. A super speedway race, kind of running reverse of what we normally run.
I think the biggest hindrance to that is a setup, getting these vehicles that are built to turn left to be able to turn right in banking. We'll have to see if that's possible someday, because I think that's one thing that we would all really love to see after the racing we've seen turning left. But I think that's going to do it for us tonight here in Italy. So for my broadcast partners, Josh Mendoza and Taylor Burris, my name is Blake McCandless saying so long tonight from Monza. Your winner tonight, Rudy Valentine. And again, gotta love these wonderful graphics from Zach Johnson. We will see you here on STN next time out.